لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك والنعمة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. This is As You Answer the Call. I am Rashida Abubakar, your regular anchor, welcoming you to another edition of the program. Few days ago, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, announced the Hajj Fair for the 2024 Hajj. The fair is in 3 categories. How did the Commission arrive at the final figures? What are the key items that make up the components of the Hajj Fair? And why the difference in the fare payable in the different zones of the country? Answers to these and other questions will form the thrust of our Spotlight segment. Also in the program, we have other regular segments such as Making the Hajj and NAHCON News Diary, which highlight the activities of NAHCON and other stakeholders in the Hajj industry. And on the quiz, a winner has emerged. Details will be announced in the course of the program. Stay tuned for these and more. Don't go away.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The program kicks off with the News Diary. Top in the lineup, Senate begins the screening of members of NAHCON 5th Board, and NAHCON chairman unveils Ahun Secretariat at HAJJ House, just as he plans to hold a major press conference. Stay tuned for these and more. Don't go away.
Minute silence for not taking the first.
The Senate has commenced the screening of members of NAHCON 5th Board, with Malan Jalal Arabi as the chairman. President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, announced this while reading a letter sent to the Senate by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, requesting the lawmakers to confirm the new board members.
I am pleased to present for confirmation by the Senate the appointments of the underlisted 4 persons as chairman and members of the National Hajj Commission. First name, Jalal Arabi, chairman. Aliu Abdulasak, Commissioner Policy, Personnel and Finance. Prince Anofi Elekushi, Commissioner Operations. Professor Abubakar Yakawa, Commissioner Planning and Research. While hoping that the request will receive the expeditious consideration of the Senate, please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest regards. This is signed by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The list was referred to the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs for further legislative action.
And to revert to the Senate within the next 10 days.
Meanwhile, NAHCON chairman Malan Jalal Ahmed Arabi is expected to hold media briefing next week. The briefing will take place at the conference hall of the HAJJ House by 2 p.m. A statement to this effect by the Commission's head of public affairs, Hajiya Fatima Sanda Usara, says the purpose of the briefing is to provide updates on the preparations for the 2024 Hajj. The statement further states that the event is strategically timed to coincide with the chairman's 4th month in office. In other news, the NAHCON chairman has unveiled the new secretariat of the Association for Hajj and Umrah Operators of Nigeria. The edifice, which was donated by NAHCON to the tour operators, is located at the HAJJ House complex. The newly elected president of the operators, Alhaji Lateef Ekundayo, took the chairman on an inspection tour of the offices. The AHON president appreciated NAHCON for this gesture, saying the aim is to transform the Hajj industry in order to give pilgrims the best services.
We want to appreciate National Health Commission again, most especially the last board that was dissolved. They gave us the opportunity to have this edifice. And we're happy today that the new chairman, that's Malam Arabi, was here today to declare this edifice open. We appreciate. This edifice is going to help us in the sense that now all our members, whenever they come to Abuja, before now, we don't have any place to stay. We don't have a functioning secretariat, but now anybody that comes from anywhere, any part of the country, if you come to our office here, you are sure, you are guaranteed that whatever you need as support through the National Health Commission, you will get it through our secretariat here.
He then sought the support and cooperation of all AHON members for the new executives to succeed. Similarly, the Association for Hajj and Umrah Operators of Nigeria on Wednesday held its annual general meeting and also elected new executives. Speaking at the meeting, NAHCON chairman Malan Jalal Ahmed Arabi, who was represented by the Commission's Director of Inspectorate and Compliance, Alidu Shuti, said the meeting serves as an avenue of providing Hajj experts the opportunity to discuss Hajj matters.
This program is epoch in two ways. One is an avenue to elect new national executive. That is why it is epoch. Two, it is an avenue to have our annual general meeting. The meeting that will afford us the opportunity to interface, interact, exchange ideas on how to move the industry forward. You can see that today's program is epoch-making.
The NAHCON boss then congratulated the outgoing and incoming leadership, saying the tour operators are critical stakeholders in Hajj management. In his remarks, the outgoing president, HAJJ Nasidi, highlighted the successes recorded and challenges faced during his tenure.
Truly, we haven't arrived at the intended destination. But the foundation laid by the outgoing ESCO, I believe, is strong enough to take the association to the next level. The vision is to make AHON a force to be reckoned with in Hajj and Umrah management, not only in Nigeria, but in Africa.
He appreciated NAHCON for supporting the tour operators to carry out their business in line with global best practices. Highlight of the event was the presentation of awards of excellence to the immediate past NAHCON chairman, Alhaji Zikirullah Kulle Hassan, and his executive commissioners. They received the prizes through their representatives. In another development, Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Agency organized a one-day training exercise for ulama and other officials enlisted by the board for the weekly Pilgrims Enlightenment training programs. The training drill, which took place on Tuesday this week in Kaduna South local government, was to acquaint the Islamic scholars with the basic guidelines and other information associated with the 2024 Hajj operation. Executive Chairman of the agency, Malan Salihu Abubakar, explains further about the training session.
This one, there are about 7 local governments whose potential trainers are being trained here, who will go in turn and train their intending pilgrims. So there will be a similar training that's going to take place in the other zones.
Pilgrims' education and orientation have been an integral part of the Hajj arrangements, as pilgrims are taught about the do's and don'ts of the Hajj exercise.
Alhamdulillah, you are still watching As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation that keeps you abreast of the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, and other Hajj-related matters. Much of the activities undertaken and services rendered during Hajj exercises involve the use of foreign currencies, particularly the US dollar. This means that exchange rates play a vital role in determining how much intending pilgrims pay to perform the Hajj. In arriving at the final figures, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has always factored in the negotiated cost of services to be rendered to pilgrims, particularly while in Saudi Arabia. In our next segment, Spotlight, we shall be looking at the various components that makes the Hajj fare. Stay with us for this and more. Don't go away.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has ever been responsible for fixing and announcing Hajj fares. Before the announcement of fares for each Hajj exercise, the Commission develops a component known as Hajj fare component, where all services rendered to pilgrims are itemized. The items are airfare ticket, accommodation in Makkah al-Mukarramah and Madinah al-Munawwara, transportation of pilgrims, tent services in Muna and Arafah. Others are feeding at Muna and Arafah, feeding at Makkah and Madinah al-Munawwara with accommodation, as well as an basic travel allowance.
The total package of services in the Mashair. The services in the Mashair, the services given to the intending pilgrims in Muna, which and Arafah. It comprises of the tents. It comprises of the feeding. In Makkah, that's in Muna, Arafah, and Muzdalifah. It comprises of the transportation. It comprises of even the beddings given to them, and the whatever services that is required by the intending pilgrims to stay in Muna, Arafah, and Muzdalifah.
To arrive at the price of each item, NAHCON, state representatives and other stakeholders adopt a number of strategies. One such strategy is to negotiate directly with service providers during the pre-Hajj visit to Saudi Arabia by NAHCON officials and stakeholders.
And during the pre-Hajj visit, the Commission was both in Makkah and Medina doing negotiating for accommodation and negotiating for feeding, both in Makkah and Medina, and all the relevant services that is going to be given by the company of the Madawib of non-African pilgrims. So this negotiation succeeded. Negotiation succeeded. Why? Because the Commission was able to review downward the prices paid last year. Because, for instance, the services, the accommodation which was given to the intending pilgrims in Makkah at 3,500, for instance, was reduced to 3,000 Saudi Riyal.
The components that make up the Hajj fare are divided into foreign and local components. The foreign components are mostly computed in US dollars and constitute about 98% of the total cost, while the remaining percentage is computed in Naira. However good NAHCON and other stakeholders negotiate for the services to be rendered, the instability of the exchange rate determines at the end of the day how much is payable as Hajj fare.
For instance, if you consider what happened last year the dollar was 456. That was what the pilgrims paid. And whatever was done, all the activities of the 2023 Hajj operation itself, all the activities, the basis was 456. And if you look at it, it's more than doubled. If you look at it now, it's more than doubled. It's almost tripled. Why? Because 1,500, 1,400 against 4,456, it's almost tripled.
The local component has Naira-related charges such as Hajj development levy, uniforms, suitcases, and yellow card, among others.
Then there are the local components, of course, which we know, of course, the states, like the uniform, which is provided by the states, and other like the bag, of course, is part of the component, which is paid by the intending pilgrims, and it is through the Hajj Commission. The Hajj Commission pays the contractor who brings the suitcase. This suitcase is for the pilgrims in Makkah. That is the The other one, which is given to them in Nigeria here, which is the hand luggage, but the main luggage is given to them in Saudi Arabia.
To arrive at the cost of air ticket for each Hajj exercise, the Commission's Aviation and Monitoring Committee would be required to negotiate the price during the screening of airliners. The committee comprises of experts drawn from aviation-related agencies and officials from State Pilgrims Boards and NAHCON. It has the mandate to determine what will be the acceptable airfare for Nigerian pilgrims, considering the economic realities in the country. The payment for hadaya or animal sacrifice is optional, as this is determined by the type of Hajj a pilgrim intends to perform.
The issue of hadaya is not in the Hajj component. It's not part of the usual Hajj component the Hajj Commission rolls out, or even the State Pilgrims would roll out, because that is something personal to the intended pilgrims. It is, of course, part of the Hajj, depending on which type of Hajj he is performing. Like you said, if he's doing tamattu'i, he must have to slaughter, and if he's doing Kiran, he will have to slaughter, but if he's doing Ifrad, he doesn't need to slaughter any animal.
After computing all the various items that make up the Hajj components, the 2024 Hajj fare was then announced. The fare is in 3 categories. Pilgrims departing from northern states and FCT, with the exception of Maiduguri and Yola, will pay 4,699,000 naira. Those taking off from Maiduguri and Yola centers are to pay 4,679,000 naira, and pilgrims departing from southern states have their fare fixed at 4,899,000 naira. What then informed the differences in the fare?
People who travel from Lagos to Saudi Arabia spend more time in the air. And that translates to money when it comes to aviation fuel. And then people who travel from the northwest, spend lesser hours than those of the south generally. And of course, those who travel from the Yola Departure Center or Northeast Departure Center, Maiduguri, Yola and others, they spend lesser hours.
The Hajj industry is experiencing transformation in all aspects. The only way Nigeria can take advantage is when it changes its mode of Hajj fare payment. As observed over time, embracing the Hajj savings scheme will go a long way in addressing the challenges associated with Hajj fare payment in Nigeria. The Hajj savings scheme is an initiative of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, which enables prospective pilgrims to save gradually for their Hajj fare.
MashaAllah, the program is As You Answer the Call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Don't go away.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك
Observing Hajj rites goes with many supplications, one of which is the chanting of the Talbiyah. What is the Talbiyah and its significance in Hajj and Umrah? When and why is it recommended for pilgrims to recite the Talbiyah, and in what manner?
And you continue to recite it or chant it continuously.
On Making the Hajj tonight, Dr. Lukman Salati answers these and other questions.
The Talbiyah goes like this. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak. What this statement means is that Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Here I am, O Allah, here I am. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Here I am. You have no partner, O Allah, here I am. Innal hamda wan ni'mata laka wal mulk. All praises, all blessings, all sovereignty belong to you. You have no partner.
When and where are pilgrims expected to start chanting the Talbiyah?
This statement is uttered immediately you assume the state of Ihram. at the Miqat, and you continue to recite it or chant it continuously throughout the period of Hajj. So it is a statement that is, in fact, that is regarded as the peak of your dua, the peak of your devotion, the peak of your worship when you are at Hajj.
The talbiyah can be chanted in groups or individually, says Dr. Lukman Salati.
It is expected that you chant it in group. It is recommended in group. Men are to say it loudly, while women are to say it, chant it, or recite it softly. So that is what is recommended. And you see, when we chant it in chorus, you see the atmosphere. The atmosphere is charged. The atmosphere is very beautiful. The atmosphere makes it look highly spiritual. There's nobody who will be in that environment who will not want to be part of it. Not only that, you experience a highly elevated spiritual position, and that you don't want to leave it again.
What then is the significance of talbiyah?
Being that it echoes your resolve in total worship of Allah, it echoes your resolve to immerse yourself or to put yourself in the ocean of worship. What we want is, we don't want any distraction when you are in Hajj. We don't want anything to distract your attention. And this talbiyah makes you, in fact, associate you and get you closer to your Creator. That is one of the messages it conveys. It connects you with your Creator.
Dr. Lukman Salati says there are 6 key messages embedded in the talbiyah, among which is reaffirming the oneness of Allah. We shall discuss these messages in our subsequent editions.
Alhamdulillah. Now it's time to know the winner of last week's quiz and the question for this week. Good luck.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, what is the reward for performing 2 raka'at salat in Masjid al-Quba? The correct answer is, the reward is equivalent to performing Umrah. The winner is Salimat Akambi from Osun State. She provided the answer ahead of others. Salimat Akambi will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach her with the prize she won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. Now to the quiz for this week, and the question is, how did Masjid al-Quba get the name Quba? Again, how did Masjid al-Quba get the name Quba? Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Once again, good luck to you. Up next are your messages.
Salamatul Abran from Bauchi State sent in the first message. It says, Assalamu alaikum. I appreciate NAHCON for this program as you answer the call. Keep it up. Alkali Adamu Askira sent the second message. It reads, I pray for the new leadership at NAHCON for a successful 2024 Hajj operation. May Allah make us among those who will perform the Hajj.
This is where we draw the curtain on today's program. See you same time, same day next week with another edition of the program. But before we go, remember that you can send your messages, comments, observations, and questions through our mobile phone number and other social media platforms. Once again, thanks for watching. Ma'asalam.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا